All right. Good evening, homies. We're going to go a little late dose from the Zoloft. TZL Unprescripted, I should say. Don't want that to go out there. We're doing these because they don't like them. So anyway, I figure, if you got these cats out there to be on TV doing their late night, up late, mind molesting people, right? People out there, before you get ready to go to bed, give you something to sleep on as they pull down your brain britches. Do something really nasty to you while you're doing something before you get ready to go to sleep, right? So anyway, we're going to try to do something, a little bit more redeeming. So we're up late. I think you guys want to come in and stop in and party with us for a little bit and talk about what's come across my desk. I've been a little busy, man. I haven't been doing these things as of late because, I've been working on some other things, man. You guys have been supporting, so it's afforded me some time to work on some other stuff, So, I'm trying to get those things done to bring some, hopefully some exciting stuff to you guys. It's just, hopefully, God willing, y'all will keep supporting, and the more you support, the faster I'll be able to get these things to you. Thank you guys for coming in. I see you coming in. I see Aircraft Sparky. What's up, man? Make sure Aircraft, you got that link in there. You guys go and link up with Aircraft Sparky. You guys don't mind your language a little salty. Sometimes they get a little nasty in there, but they God-fearing folks, and I dig their content, but it ain't for your children. It ain't for your children. All right. So I thank you guys for coming in. Nomad, what's up? Sarah, I see you. So let's see what's come across my desk. See what kind of dosage we can get going from this all out here. I saw in news. What is it? Just the news. Just the news. Let's see. New Army recruiting ads mocked as woke, emasculated. Let me see. But will they reach Generation Z target demo? So I saw some of these ads. Aircraft says, I try to remain clean. I'm a heathen at times. Yes. You're in the same heathen boat with us, man. And but that's just where we need the Lord. But at any rate, so I saw a couple of these cartoons and these ads that are out there, and yeah, it's kind of embarrassing, man. The whole world looking at the U.S. of A. With their hardened military. Sure, yeah, we got the greatest military in the world, but I think at some point, that may go to your head. It's like there's been powerful militaries, powerful empires, and that stuff goes to your head, and before you know it, your nation implodes. So, maybe we've had a run at having maybe too much boastfulness, in our military. We give props to our military here and stuff like that, but we got to be careful not to puff people up, man. Get too much yeast up in there, and before you know it, our military, can collapse. This kind of stuff shouldn't be happening with our military. You know what I'm saying? It's these kind of things where we're affirming, people's sexual perversions and stuff like that. Their perverted perspectives. These things, the very nature of what we are, these things where we have to conform to these people's imaginations concerning biology, these very basic things about us. It's like you're gonna look at this very basic truth and you're gonna try to twist that up too. No, man, that's something that just should not be, and that shouldn't be tolerated. In the military. I'm sorry for the whole tolerance culture. Sorry, I'm just gonna call it. Man, I ain't sorry. I'm not sorry. This is ridiculous where, we have to conform to these people's imaginations and stuff like that. And I talk about that a lot in my book, The Solid Right Cross. It's we're having to conform to these people's imaginations in many respects. And it's not respectable, by the way. So, here it is. You see these ads, that are totally emasculated. And it's weird, man, because you got the black community. It's a lot too much of the black community is on board with this. And one of the grievances about with the black community is the emasculation of the black man. Like this was just some general American thing. It's like, no, this was a Democrat thing, and y'all loyal to them. And the Democrats are using black folks to get sympathy votes for the LGBT cause. Democrats are doing that. But blacks fall in line with Democrats, all because Democrats just make the accusation that Republicans are racist. Meanwhile, it's Democrats that laid out all the racist policies that America's still so bitter over. But we got to deal with these things, going into our military, and while the world is just posturing, they're paying for propaganda. You know, you got our enemy countries that are invested. They're invested in the emasculation of our military. We got hardened, warring factions, around, in different parts of the world, in the greater, nations. They got, China, Russia. Their military don't play, man. And but they're not just stopping there with a hardened, hungry military. All right, they're hard and hungry, man, and they can do some serious damage. And not only that, they're basically they're invested in softening our military. So our military is, with all this whole, what's that commercial? They got showing how woke it is that a person became this person who's able to rise above challenges, and they had 2 mothers and stuff like that. The 10 Commandments say honor your father and your mother. It doesn't say honor your father and your father and your mother and your mother. It doesn't say that, right? It says that for a reason. So this person is trying to prove something. These people who are going into the military, they don't understand what it is to make a sacrifice. We don't need a military like that. When you go into the military, and for full disclosure, y'all, I've never been in the military. A couple of military family and stuff like that, but I've never been in the military myself. So I'm not going to sit here and try to make like, I'm G.I. Joe and stuff like that, and then I can do the talk of the military and stuff like that. However, and I'm not trying to throw in a butt here or anything like that, but you do have people out there who haven't been in the military either, and they're stating their piece. So gonna have to do what we can to try to defend what's going on in here in America, so that the people who do serve, don't end up serving for a country that we're losing anyway. So somebody's got, we got to speak up for that. We have to, we have to protect. We also have to protect the integrity of the institution that's supposed to protect our country. So, I'm not trying to, speak as some, seasoned vet or anything like that. But the thing I do understand, because of the word of God as is, you have to have a sense of sacrifice. If you're going to be in the military, you have to understand that. If you're going in the military to make to prove something for the LGBT community, if you're trying to do something to prove something concerning your gender or your confusions concerning your gender, trying to prove something that you could be just as good as anybody else just because you're a man that thinks she's a woman, or a woman who thinks she's a man or anything like that, you ain't got no business in the military, because you don't understand what a sacrifice is. You can't take your selfish behind into the military and make people conform to your fantasies, man. You can't do that, right? So now you can't be on the people's dime going into the military trying to make them conform to your worldview. That gets people killed, right? So you want to go into the military and you can't make the sacrifice. You can't just say, hey, I'm in here to uphold, to protect the Constitution of the United States. It's my job to make sure that this thing does not become obsolete or taken over or anything like that. That's my job, right? Now, anything that you want now, once you've done that, you can go when you're out of the military, your term is done. You step out of the military, you go ahead and do whatever it is that you want to do. Hey, you fought for the right to do that. That's fine. I totally get that. It's like, you want to do that, but I'm still gonna fight you if you try to make me conform to it. I don't care if you're in the military or if you're a civilian. You try to make me conform to it, I'm gonna argue with you. Okay, I'm just not gonna take that. So, but as you're in the military, you can't make people conform to your selfishness like that. When you've done your term of service, you want to come out and you want to go and dress up like a woman and all that sort of stuff, and live a gender confused lifestyle. That's you. Go ahead, right? But you're gonna get a fight when you try to make it laws that I have to conform to that sort of stuff. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to recognize a man trying to assume to be a woman. I'm not going to recognize you. The law of nature doesn't recognize you. The Lord himself, who authored the law of nature, doesn't recognize you. The law of physics does not recognize you. You live in a fantasy. All right. So we got these, commercials out there trying to make like these people got something to prove. And y'all, I'm trying to, and I hold a lot of, the conservative movement responsible for this, man, because, conservatives, and don't get me wrong, man, because we we have a lot of respect for people who serve in the military, but you get to a point where you start idolizing them. All right. And there's been a lot of that. Very, very thankful for those who have made the sacrifices that they've made to protect our republic. This God-given republic that we have. That's very, very grateful for that. And they deserve a lot of gratitude. But a lot of that gratitude is turned to idolatry, y'all, and idols crumble. We have an institution that people are idolizing. Whether it's the military, whether it's the police or first responders, people are starting to idolize these people. Really, they are. And and it's going to get to a point where you're not really sure who your enemies are. It's like I said before. A lot of times people, they're quick to say that, like say for instance, if a black person gets handled by the police, and it can even lead towards a death. It's like we're going to start investigating automatically, and make sure that we pull up the rap sheet of the black person to make sure that the police are exonerated and they're always innocent, right? But let a white person wear a mask and get questioned by the police. Just get questioned by the police, and automatically the police are seen as the Gestapo. So which one is it? So it's the same thing, with our military. You got to be careful, man, because while people have been idolizing the military, look at what's been happening. The military is going this way where they're affirming people in their gender confusion, and you can say that the military is pushing back all you want to, man. This is an ongoing push, step by step. See, the conservatives don't understand it. Conservatives want that long game thing. They just want to make touchdowns every play. They don't understand how liberals just be playing. They be making them first downs, man. They taking the field a little bit at a time, and their game is their worldview has no integrity, but their game is still solid. Weird, strangely enough, their worldview leads to destruction. It leads to nothing, But funny how it's a solid game though, and they're persistent. They're just, it's a little bit at a time. And liberal and conservatives, they want a home run like every time. It's like, no, dude, it don't work that way. It's not how the game works. So, with this right now, just a little bit at a time, more and more, and it's going to start to snowball. And our military is just it's being emasculated. Our military is being weakened. Our military, and that's it's almost like what's that animal? The Komodo dragon. So basically, with the Russians, China, they didn't inflicted the wound. They'd have made the bite that's starting to break down, their prey. And their prey is just going to basically hobble, it's going to hobble to its spot. And that hemotoxin is going to go ahead and get on in there. Hemotoxin, man, we got a blood poison. It's a blood toxin that's in there, right? Sound like a sin issue. But that dragon then got a hold. It been bit. And, and when that creature is just not weak enough to run anymore, that's when that dragon is going to go ahead and eat. It's going to bite its way in and chew its way out. Ain't that's what happening to America? We're getting destroyed from the inside, y'all. The dragon been bit. You ever see how a Komodo dragon does its thing? Komodo dragon bite. It gets in it. It's like if the creature is big enough, the Komodo dragon will go. It'll eat its way inside of the creature and chew its way out like freaking alien, right? Well, that's what's happening to us. The influences from the outside and that has infected the country from within. Just like Lincoln said, man, we ain't gonna be destroyed from the outside. We're gonna be destroyed from the inside out. Where the infection has come in from the outside. It's like a virus. Everybody's so afraid. It's so weird how you got all these people out there. They seem to be so sensitive about a virus. How is it that you liberals can be so sensitive about a freaking virus, yet you don't understand how the behavior virus is working from these other countries that have infected our country and it's destroying from the inside? It's like a virus, right? But it's so strange how liberals can assume to be so woke and so sensitive to these things and don't even see how it's happening. And unfortunately, conservatives, they let a lot of this happen. They're making like the military can't do nothing wrong. Oh, they're doing something very wrong here. This shouldn't be getting this far. Softening our military, man. Softening them. We got some serious killers out there. Murderers, right? murderous military factions. They're just waiting for that time to strike, you know. So at any rate, y'all, you know, this ain't a good thing. I hope conservatives, you know, start. You got to hold the line on these things, man. You gotta. It can't just be about speaking up. And so you gotta have the finesse on knowing what you're speaking out against, and run the conclusions. You can't just be out there thinking that you're smarter than liberals. They're not exactly stupid. Their worldview is stupid. Y'all, they're very creative and very selfish people, and selfishness makes you very creative. All right. And I don't think a lot of times, you know, conservatives really run a conclusion on it. They just think that they're smarter than liberals. That's not enough, man. The word of God will tell you that that's not enough. Remember, even when Jesus don't underestimate folks. Jesus is God himself, you know, but Jesus he didn't treat these people like they were dumb. He didn't treat them like they were weak. When they came to arrest him, man, it's like, look, man, you know that I got these cats behind me that are ready to get into a knife fight, man. These Hebrews is hungry and ready for battle. They can get down with a blade, all right? And not only that, I got 12 legions of angels. Jesus doesn't do the foolishness of underestimating. He doesn't do that. You know, we got these supposedly God-fearing conservatives out there underestimating these liberals. They're not dumb. Y'all, please keep in mind, would you think that just because that these people are some cross-dressing homosexuals and stuff like that, that they can't do a lot of damage? Y'all, they're screwing up our country. Now, it's like, you know, these conservatives out there calling themselves Christians and stuff like that. I don't know if you read the word. I don't know if y'all really know the damage that these people can do. You're familiar with the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, but have you really read it? Do you know how much damage Sodom and Gomorrah was doing? So much damage that the angels had to come in there and flag in an airstrike, man. That place had to get nuked. Right? Why? Because even the nations that were surrounding Sodom and Gomorrah, even the nations that were surrounding them were calling out to, and these were heathen nations, man. These were straight heathens. Heathens deluxe. We ain't got nothing on their hedonism, right? They were super bad. But even they were like, hey, God, can you come and do something about Sodom and Gomorrah, please? These people are crazy. Yeah, them straight up full on perverted homosexuals. That would have sex with anything, right? Whether it breathed or whether it didn't, right? So, and their worldview was just oppressive. Like you see how these liberals are now. Everything is oppressive. Everything is racist. You can't do nothing without walking on eggshells. Your livelihood can get ruined. Even with COVID, now it's going to get to a point, man, it's coming. It's coming. The precursor is coming. You can't shop. You can't travel. You can't get a job. Right? I'm not saying that that's the mark of the beast, but when you see things coming down the pike like that, you better be ready to stand up against it, man. Because if it looks like it, doesn't have to be it. If it looks like it, you might want to make sure that we don't go down that road until it is the real thing. But we're seeing the oppression of all these people out there. People, it's weird, man. You've got these homosexuals out there and people in the LGBT community making AIDS like that. They have bug parties and stuff like that. Trying to get AIDS. Right? They have bug parties for that. And they go try to lecture us about COVID. They try to do, and not only that, you can infect somebody with AIDS and it's not a crime. You don't have to tell. It's like you don't have to tell them that you have AIDS. Have sex with them. It's not a crime. But COVID is the thing that they're championing. You want to make sure that you don't get COVID. Wow. Right? It's this attack on our country that has just come in, and then all of a sudden they want people to get vaccinated. They want them to get branded. Just get branded. Right? So you don't see the oppression in these things. This is oppressive. So this kind of stuff, man, the word of God has warned us about these things. This stuff shouldn't have taken us by surprise. We've been warned about this. All right. So, I mean, now here it is with our military. You know, it's going to catch them all, too. You had that song back in the 70s, man. In the Navy. Yeah. The Navy going to turn into the village people. All right. You got the Army right now. They're doing this so-called woke campaign and showing You know, how homosexuality is taking root in the Army. Let's go get all the branches in the military. Yeah, Marines too. Yeah, you devil dogs and all that sort of stuff. Y'all gonna be devil poodles. Yeah, hey, come on, man. Let's be real. You know, let's be real about it. You see, you know, it's gonna go from the few, the proud, the Marines gonna turn y'all to the out, to the many and the out and proud. You know, watch out. All right, I've been telling you know the word of God's been warning about y'all. Warning about this for years, man. There shouldn't be no surprise. So anyway, man, let's move on to something else, man. Give me a sip of my chamomile tea. Speaking of gay, I'm trying to wind down, man. What? Leave me alone. Okay. What's this nonsense? Now, okay. What's gayer than chamomile tea? This article right here, U.S. flag, or this this not the article itself. That is, it's just what the news is itself. U.S. flag on crane mistaken for a noose. Ooh, I wonder who went out there and started this nonsense. What's that? Bubba? What's his name? Bubba, the NASCAR driver. Right? And you know, I'm trying to tell, man, conservative voters, I'm trying to tell you, you did this to yourselves, man. You did this to yourselves. Conservatives, listen to me. You did this to yourself. I tried to tell you, right? I've been trying to tell you for years. But anyway, now you got Democrats making sure that everybody sees things as racist, and they've tied all these things to you, and conservatives help them do it, right? Flying that Confederate flag at NASCAR, that was dumb. NASCAR folks, listen, I love you. I love my Southern folks. That was dumb. Dumb. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you have Trump, an American flag, a Trump flag, and a Confederate flag? Why the crap would you do that? You screwed yourselves. You've been screwing yourselves. It's American history. No, it isn't. It's Democrat history. Democrat history. That Confederate flag was created by Democrats. The Confederacy created by Democrats. And you know, I have not met one person who is a neo-Confederate who has ever read the Constitution of the Confederate States. Never even read it. It was about slavery. Yes, it was. You didn't read the Constitution of the Confederate States. Authored by Democrats. So when you guys are waving that Confederate flag, you're waving the flag of the Democrat Party, and you wonder why people think that the parties have switched sides and they don't trust you. How many times I got to say this? How many times? Right? That's why you have that. I think his name was Bubba, you know, black NASCAR driver, right? No wonder he thought, yeah, dude, that looks like a noose. Went on Oprah and all that sort of stuff. You make it too easy for these people, right? Made it so easy for them. I tried to tell you, man, don't do that. Don't associate yourself with these things, right? Democrats, they're the ones who filibustered against anti-lynching laws. Republicans were trying to make sure that people too. Now they're tying lynching and nooses to Republicans. Where are Republicans trying to say, dude, that wasn't us? It's like I said, conservatives just think that people are supposed to get it. It's like, no, man, you got to mow the lawn frequently. You got to do maintenance on this all the time. Don't you understand that the Democrats, the progressives, are as progressive as a cancer? You got to fight that cancer all the time. You can't just assume that it's cured, man. This is nature. That's how it is in the natural. You got to do your maintenance. You got to come in and you got to fix things. The giant just can't go to sleep, right? You're awakening a sleeping giant. Conservatives always sleeping giant, always sleeping. Why don't y'all get up and do some work? At least in maintaining our country. Don't get me wrong, man, because conservatives do it. That's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to make a living, man. We're just trying to earn our living. Make an honest living. I understand. I'm not trying to say conservatives are lazy, but they are lazy in the sense that they think that freedom is just something that we just get to enjoy. Like, no, man. Don't you understand that freedom is valuable and there's always going to be people trying to steal it? Always. Always. Okay? That's what Democrats do. So you can't be sleeping. You can't be the sleeping giant. Knock it off with the sleeping giant thing. So, but this noose, an American flag, you got a whole bunch of the culture that sees the American flag as a noose anyway. right? They don't understand that the American flag has nothing to do with any of these things. America was founded to acknowledge people's God-given right, everybody's. That's not the fault of the American flag. It's not the fault of the Constitution if you have people who rebelled against that and decided to do whatever it is that they wanted. That's not a fault of the American flag. The American flag doesn't represent that. The American flag represents a republic that recognizes the God-given rights of man, right? The right to life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, property, right? That's what the American flag represents. Please don't hold the American flag responsible just because some people decided to do perverted things under that flag. And the flag doesn't wait for that, right? The Constitution doesn't stand for that, right? Democrats know that. That's why the Democrats try to make their own Constitution so they could do whatever it is that they felt entitled to. The Constitution of the Confederate States. Republicans who keep trying to say that the Confederacy is American history. No, it's Democrat history. You screwed yourself on that. You screwed all of us. Any one of you conservatives out there who had that sentiment, Confederacy is American history, and standing up for the statues. Yeah, if you want the statues and artifacts to stand up, that's fine. Just make sure people know where they came from. Y'all didn't do that. You cost us. Trump cost us. All his idolizing followers cost us. You did. That's why people can't even look at the American flag hanging from the crane without seeing a noose, because they've associated all the evils of the Democrat Party with Republicans and America in general. These are the evils of the Democrat Party. Conservatives, where were you? Oh, I'm sorry, you were bragging because you saw Dinesh D'Souza's movie and didn't do a damn thing with it, right? So this is what it comes down to. What'd you do with it? What'd you do? Nothing. Except make Dinesh D'Souza rich. Okay. All right, so let's look at this right here. Christian Catholic, this is coming from Newsbusters. This is going to be Christian Catholic conservatives slam U.S. embassy to the Vatican for flying presidents and whatever. We got more gay news. I'm sorry, man. It's just what's going on. This is what's eating our country up, man. You know, it's like, Zo, why are you always talking about these things? Because it's always going on. That's why, right? And instead of like, I guess all these, so many conservatives, they, not my folks up in here in Zola, but you guys know what's up. You guys know what's up. I'm hoping that you guys share this video so people who don't know what's up get a taste of a dose from the Zoloft, get a taste of reality, man. That's what I'm hoping, right? But you guys know that's why you guys tune in, right? So, but we got these Christian Catholics, Christians and Catholics, sorry, it's Christians and Catholics, conservatives slam U.S. embassy to the Vatican for flying pride flag. Okay, so Catholic, assuming to be the universal church, all right? That's what universal gets you. It's not supposed to be the church of the universe. It's not supposed to be a church of universalism. It's not supposed to be some church that covers everything. Christ covers everything. When you give in to the idea that this church is universal, you're going to get things like this. All right, you're going to have people coming in assuming that they can make sin or what isn't sin a universal thing, right? You can go ahead and you can change it how you see fit. You can make it fit your universe. It's all universal, right? So it's assuming that a religion is going to be the final say on these things. Religion isn't the final say on these things. Religion can be shaped, right? You don't believe me? Well, look at your Pope, right? Oh, what does he have the excuse of speaking ex cathedra, right? It don't work that way. The word of God already showed you it doesn't work that way. When you go ahead and make these allotments for these people, they can do whatever, they can do whatever their gut tells them, and then give the excuse that they're speaking ex cathedra. Jesus already gave his opinion on that. Perhaps y'all missed it. Hey, Jesus, no way, these things won't happen to you. Jesus like, hey, Satan, excuse me. Well, that was Peter, your first pope, I guess, speaking ex cathedra. He wasn't speaking the word of God. He's speaking on his own accord. He was speaking concerned with the affairs of men, not the affairs of God. Jesus called him Satan for that. That's what Jesus called your first pope, supposedly, your supposed pope. All right? That's what Jesus had to say about it. All right? So, given his opinion, which was basically satanic, because he was caught up with the affairs of men over the affairs of God, and this is what ends up happening. You have churches that are affirming right? This ain't me bashing, and people say, "Oh, you're a Catholic basher." No, I got words for the church, the Christian church too. There's a lot of Christian churches dropping the ball on this one, dropping the ball, and they draws. That's right, acting like a bunch of mental sodomites, letting yourselves get screwed by these perversions, allowing the serpent to get in the garden of the church, man. Right, Christians, what is this? What are you doing? What are you trying to be? You think this is you're doing God a favor? You representing the Lord because you're being accepting and affirming and stuff like that. Okay. Now I'm glad to see that people are that are speaking up, Catholics, Christians, say, hey man, this is no. Okay. But please understand, man. It's not that you can't have a critique for these people. We already know the concerns that came against the Church of Laodicea and stuff like that. The concerns that came towards these churches. That, look, man, this is what you're doing wrong. Paul has a lot of stuff that he comes in and say, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, whether it be the church, Christian church, Catholics, something. It's the bottom line is the affairs of men are being put first. And I'm grateful for Christians who are saying, no, man, no, this is not it. Speaking truth and in love, right? Catholics, who are also saying, hey, no, there's something really wrong here. Okay? So these kind of things, man, where it's like this, and the Word of God talks about these things. Don't take my name in vain. Don't be using my name to justify these things. Don't affirm this stuff, right? So you got a whole bunch of people doing the Word of God a disservice. Flying, man, I mean, come on, man. Flying the rainbow flag. It's these people, Christians, Catholics, who are doing this. There's a lot of these people, man. There's a bit. You hadn't read it. You don't understand. You do not understand the gravity of what this represents when you're flying that rainbow flag. Have you not read the Noahic covenant? You didn't read it, right? Leading up to that flood was a whole lot of wickedness, whole lot, sexual perversion, violence. It's becoming, it got really bad, like really, really, really bad. And long story short, at the end of it, after the judgment, what's up, Kool-Aid? You gotta go, you looking for some munchies? All right. That's my cat Kool-Aid that you guys saw walking back there. Anyway, quiet. I'm on camera. You got something to say? Oh, now she's gonna put out. She's quiet now. Anyway, all right. What was I talking about? Oh, so after the judgment, y'all, the Lord put that rainbow in the clouds, basically to remind himself that when the clouds gather, he's not going to kill us all. And that's why he put the rainbow up there. The rainbow is marking that judgment. And he's letting us know it's like, I'm not going to kill y'all by water anymore because I'm going to see that rainbow. When I see it, it's going to remind me, don't kill everybody by a flood, right? Another judgment is still coming, but it's not going to be by a flood. But the thing is, y'all, the world was judged because of a whole bunch of wickedness. And that rainbow came in. Well, if the Lord says it's going to be like the days of Noah again. When the Lord comes, when the day of the Lord, it's going to be like the days of Noah. The world is going to get really bad. But we're seeing those flags, those rainbow flags all over the place, right? That's an iconic symbol from the judgment of Noah's day, that rainbow. These people are they're waving this flag in mockery of God, challenging him, right? Now, when you got a church building, right? We're supposed to be the church. Church ain't a building, right? We church. When you have these sanctuaries, though, waving a rainbow flag, you are flagging in the judgment of God. That's not a good move. That's not smart, right? So I don't think they've not read it, but call themselves Christians. Anyway, let's take what we got here from Newsbusters. This is Cuomo. There's a through line from Tulsa Race Massacre to the GOP today. So I guess they're playing a little bit of connect the dots here. Let's see. Connect the dots. All right. Well, I like how, once again, Republicans dropped the ball. I'll give you a recent example of Republicans dropping the ball on this. How they basically given they give these things to Democrats. They make it easy for them, y'all. I'm telling you. What was that? It was Juneteenth, right? June 19th, and I think it was going to be in Oklahoma. Matter of fact, they were going to do it at Tuskegee, I believe. It's Tuskegee, Oklahoma. Let me know if I got that wrong. I think it was Trump was going to do his rally there. And maybe they didn't get the memo, or maybe they didn't understand the significance of doing it in that area on that day. And what did Trump do? Change the date. He ceded to the Democrats. The Democrats like, you're going to do this on Juneteenth? And you're such a racist, and you don't even care about black people. And what did Trump do? He ceded the date. He gave it to them, right? Big, tough talking Trump who's going to handle China and handle North Korea and handle the Russians and all that sort of stuff. Here come the Democrats. You don't care about black people. Oh, okay. Well, sorry about that. Let me go ahead and we'll move it to another date. Shouldn't have done that. Why did you do that? All right. So basically, we have this celebration. Republicans are the ones who went to war with Democrats to end slavery, right? And it's like Republicans aren't even sure of the significance of that history and just gave it to Democrats. Allowed Democrats to come and say, hey, it's Juneteenth, you don't care to say. And Republicans are, oh, okay, well, whatever. Republicans are like, oh, what? No, you didn't. No, we're going to be right here, man, because we're the ones. This is the party right here, Republican Party. The radical abolitionists who came together to form the Republican Party. We ended slavery. We fought you Democrats to end slavery. And you Democrats going to come and try to tell us? You going to try to tell us what's up? No, you better leave. Republicans didn't do that. High and mighty strong Trump didn't do that. He stepped down. He stepped down like Bernie Sanders. Remember when Bernie Sanders was doing his rally and them two black girls came in there? Bernie Sanders gave you a picture of how he would have gave up our country. He gave up that podium quick, right? Let them girls just come in and just take over, right? Trump shouldn't have done that. Republicans shouldn't have done that. Republicans don't really understand the significance of why their party was founded. And that's why Democrats have been able to take advantage of you. I'm trying to tell you. I've been trying to tell you, right? Black Wall Street, that was Democrats came in, destroyed Black Wall Street. And not only did Democrats come in and destroy Black Wall Street, and these events that have happened in June, the Democrats are going to come in and push blacks out of the way to make way for all this LGBT pride. That's what Democrats are doing. All right. And Republicans are letting them. And they don't understand that the biggest weapon that the Democrats have against the Republican Party is race baiting. All the plight that the Democrats impose on the black community themselves. Democrats are making people see that Republicans are responsible. And Republicans just give it to them. They just give it to them. And wonder why Democrats are able to just get away with being the cheats that they're doing. Trying to tell you, man. Trying to tell y'all for years. So, let me see. What else we got? We got a man monkey. Monkey man. Made in China. I think maybe what it is that China is like really getting, back to their Kung Fu roots. Really getting really overly zealous about Kung Fu. And they're going to make a man-monkey hybrid to reestablish and resurrect the monkey style. So you're going to have monkey men out there doing monkey Kung Fu. At any rate, but so the article is man-monkey, that's just fun to say, man-monkey hybrid sparks fears of Frankenstein creature. Frankenstein, Monkeystein, Franken-monkey. All right, let's see. Well, okay, so I guess Frankenstein, we're going to kind of use this familiar theme with this monkey that they're making in a lab or something like that. But technically that wouldn't be a Frankenstein. Or Frankenstein's monster or his creation. I can't say creation or whatever it was that Frankenstein did. But Dr. Frankenstein, the objective of Dr. Frankenstein was basically to bring the dead back to life, or harness the spark of life to recycle a patchwork of essentially human parts. That was Frankenstein's objective. So when we talk about Frankenstein, it's just like a nightmarish story based on a resurrection. You're gonna take this this man salad, piece them together, these different parts, and try to harness the spark of life to raise this creature. But what the Chinese are doing are they're taking living organisms and to make a new humanoid species. Still an abomination. It's like one of those things. What? And they're going to try to justify why they're doing it. It could be, I don't know, organ harvesting or having some creature to run tests on, to try to make vaccines and stuff like that. You're making a slave, okay? Is basically what you're doing. But that's Democrats for you, justifying slavery, disqualifying something's personhood, and the Democrats are probably like, ha, try to say that this thing is human, huh? So I don't know. Well, the thing is, if you're making something to harvest human attributes from, well, what would you call it? Now, don't get me wrong. The bottom line is it's an abomination. If it's mixed with something else, it's something else. But Democrats being the moral supremacists that Democrats, they just can't get over the supremacy thing. They always want to be superior. And they're going to do this and they're going to try to justify it. You guys want to make an abomination. And it's like they feel like they've already got the moral corner of it. And that's it. And there is no other moral dilemma to have. They're going to go ahead and do this. And don't get me wrong, because and I know that this is China. Don't get me wrong, I already understand it, but everything's made in China. and right now, China owns liberalism anyway. What liberals are wanting to do, China's helping to pay for. So this thing is going to make its way into our country anyway. So we might as well go ahead and jump on it. You might find yourselves sending your kids to school with monkey folk. But according to liberals, we're all monkeys anyway. This should work. No problem here, because that's our ancestors. We share a common ancestry. It's weird how you got the black community. They're so offended by the word monkey. It's like they get offended. It's like by that. Meanwhile, that's how liberals. That's how they see everybody. Everybody is descended from monkeys as far as liberals go with their evolutionary theories. But you blacks, you're the closest in their chain. That's how liberals feel about us. But this thing right here, the moral dilemma as far as that goes, it introduces a lot of things. And, it's one of those things, man, where people talk about just because you can doesn't mean that you should. But that's not stopped a lot of people, obviously. Let me see. One more, y'all. One more. We got Democrats pushing to bar federally funded adoption providers from excluding LGBTQ parents. All right. So, it's weird, man. It's like foster parents, man, they get paid, and it doesn't seem like, you got to jump through too many hoops to become a foster parent, but to adopt a kid, that's a whole nother thing. But, the whole purpose of that, y'all, is to make the reason why people have to go through so much red tape with adoption. Well, not most people. Some people can get a kid like really easy. Like if you're Charlize Theron, you can just go ahead and make yourself look like a good person because you're a white lady who went and adopted her a black kid and dressed your little boy up like a girl. That's so woke, but she's a hero. So that's the the thing with how they go about like doing it. They can get a kid like really easy. But for the rest of the common folks, adoption is not there, and there's a reason for that. Reason why is because it makes abortion much more convenient. Just get an abortion and you don't have to go through all this stuff, trying to adopt a kid, just, abort that kid. That's the whole bottom line to it. That's why adoption is so difficult. But this right here, everybody deserves that. The thrust of this is that everybody deserves, a family. Every kid deserves a family and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, the liberals they word that very cleverly, and a family, of course, it could be what you make it. One would say that well, it's better than a kid being abandoned or left in an orphanage and all that sort of stuff. For a kid having to grow up without their biological parents and stuff like that. There definitely could be worse things. All right. One of the reasons why our country is going the way that it's going is like, remember how we talked about these slow progressions? This is a progressing disease, and you can, in the short term, and liberals know how to play that short game too, right? They play the short game to win the long game. And when you make these arguments about how this is compassion and this is family, throwing these these keywords in there to make you look like you're so enlightened and caring and all that sort of stuff, you can make it look like, well, hey, at least if this person was adopted by two gay men, at least he or she will have a family. It's like, okay. One could try to argue that that's better than being like in an orphanage or something like that. No, in the long run, it's not. And we can see that it's not. We have people who are very confused, very insecure, very disillusioned about how things are. Y'all, that could come from, you can exacerbate that problem. It's like a person not feeling, when you have a person who doesn't, maybe a kid who may not feel love just because, they grew up in an orphanage or something like that. Yeah, I can understand that. But you take that same kid, you put them in a couple where it's two men, that person can grow up to be just as unloving because that person doesn't see the importance of what it is to have a wife, right? So it's like we already see a whole bunch of that. We got a lot of single parents and stuff like that. And you have kids growing up who are adult age now. They don't see the importance of what it is to have a wife. They don't see women as important. My dad didn't stick around for my mom. Why should I stick around? Or vice versa. They don't see the importance of a husband. You got people out there talking about we need fathers. No, we don't need fathers. We need husbands first. God-fearing husbands. That's what's needed. Not just anybody can go out there and knock some women up and be somebody's baby daddy. There's no real responsibility in that. The responsibility is shown in being a husband to your wife. But we don't. That's not the thing that we promote in the culture. We don't promote that. We think that we're being all woke and stuff like that and being responsible because we're saying kids need fathers. No, that's not the problem. That's never been the problem. The problem is lack of God-fearing husbands to show the example. That's where your fathering begins. In the husbandry, right? But that's our culture. A lot of conservatives too, right? I'm telling you, conservatives. I gotta holler at you, man. Conservatives is how they set these things up. Even as far as schools go, talk about get our kids back in school. Who do you think is mind molesting these kids? How do you think these generations are getting messed up? They're getting messed up in these schools, these places that you call indoctrination camps. That you want to send our kids back there, right? You gotta send them into the military. You gotta send them to the military, show them how to be a man. I thought government wasn't the answer. All right? How do conservatives go? And I hear a lot of that's always bothered me. I hear a lot of conservatives say that. They need to go into the military and learn how to be a man. Government's the problem. Government's not the answer, but you want to send your kid to the government to show them how to be an adult. Okay. That don't make no sense. Makes no sense. Right? And what's happening to our military? Now the military is gonna be showing your kid how to be gay. Right? So it's like, government's either the answer, not the answer, or it is. Which one? Make up your mind. And that's where we are, man. But right now, liberals are making it look like, the woke thing to do is to let kids be adopted by gay parents. And they make sure they've already made it difficult for straight couples to adopt. Yeah, do weird stuff, man. If you want to adopt, like say for instance, a white couple wants to adopt a black kid. They got to go take these classes and stuff like that, cultural classes, and, making sure they got the right kind of menu to feed their kid and stuff like that. Like, your kid's an American. They're American now. Let them be Americans. But they're not allowed to do that. So it was already difficult for straight couples to adopt. Now they want to make it to where you're going to have dibs for gay couples. What do they try to say in adoption, in orphanages and stuff like that? Kids get, they get molested and stuff like that, which is true. You don't think that gay couples don't do the same thing? Yeah. You have a lesbian couple that wants to adopt a little girl, that girl's not going to be taken advantage of sexually too. Bring her up as a sex object. Yeah, that happens also. Right? Gay men, you can realize it. Some will admit to it. So yeah, we adopted because we wanted to raise our adopted son to have sex with. Yes, yes, they do these things. So it's not just something that goes on. A molestation isn't something that goes on in orgies. It happens in homosexual adopted cultures. It happens with straight couples, right? It happens with biological people, right? It's not something that's alien to everybody. But it's the thing is that you still want to have the natural construct, because that's still the safest place to be. Because the thing is, it's a natural inclination. If you're attracted to the same sex, it's a natural inclination to see that person as a sexual object. All right, especially if they're not your flesh and blood, so it'll come down that way. So, and like I said, that can happen in any relationship, but you don't want to exacerbate it and raise the child to be confused. So at any rate, y'all, that's what we're up against, y'all. And unfortunately, it's getting worse. But hey, we can look forward to the good Lord, man. He's the one who's going to set the record straight on this. We really want to live in a place where all this insanity is going to go by the wayside. We got to cling to the Lord, man, and pray for his, pray for a cup full of head right that you can get in these attractive muds in the Zoloft. And make sure you get your Frederick. Hey, man, it's June. We got Juneteenth coming up, man. Get your Frederick Douglass shirt. Be over at bronzeserpentmedia.com, right? It might look better on you than it does on me. It looks pretty good on me, right? So bronzeserpentmedia.com, hit the store. We got Frederick Douglass shirts there. Make sure that you guys get that. Conservatives are represented. Why do you guys let Democrats just go ahead and have all this stuff? You know why they have all? You just hand it to them. They don't even have to come and take it by force. They just getting it. Conservatives be like, come and take it. Come and take it. And the Democrats then took it. All right, they then took it. Please start representing the culture. Please get back to the roots of what the Republican Party was. All right, let's stop being a sorry shadow of what the Republican Party was, man, and get back to those radical abolitionist roots. Y'all even let the Democrats have the word radical. Y'all call them radicals. They're not radicals at all. They're rebels against our Constitution. They were rebels then. They're rebels now, right? But you call them radicals. You gave them our distinction. Why y'all do that, man? Wonder why the party switched sides. Why people think that? I'm telling you. All right, get this gear. Matter of fact, I've got to. How's my beard look? Beard look good, huh? If you got a beard, your beard can look this good. You got to get that Arcadian Buffalo, right? Beard oil. I got the link in there. You can check that out. And they did a special one for me. It's like bronze serpent beard oil, right? Got bronze serpent soap, right? So you can get your scrub on. It's very mildly scented. So if you got a favorite cologne, it's not going to clash with that. It's very mildly scented soap, but very natural, man. And lather is lovely, right? It's like, oh, it feels fantastic, and washes off really easy and stuff like that. With all that, with all your grime and stuff. So anyway, go check those things out, and hey, we will talk. Thank you guys so much for coming in, and I want to be able to I gotta get it to where I can read y'all's comments and still keep my flow, because I'll be trying to read, man, and then we got dead air. It's boring, right? I don't want to do that. Your comments may be very exciting, but while I'm trying to read them and there's nothing going on, that's boring, and I want to read what you guys have to say, but I'm only good at multitasking, like on the drums. I can multitask, well, my independence I think it's pretty good, but, I don't, when I'm trying to read comments and stuff like that and try to do this at the same time, you get dead air, man, and it sucks. All right. Anyway, but I am grateful for you guys showing up, and we will talk again soon. Unless, is there anything that I should what's what we got? Pride is the queen of all sins, and sinner. I like it because the devil's a full-on queen, right? That's right. He's the first tranny. The word says that he masquerades as an angel of light, and you know how they have them praise? They be all lit up and stuff like that. So the devil himself is definitely a tranny. So who else we got in the feed? I'll do one more, or maybe two more, maybe long enough to finish my tea, which is kind of cooled down right now, so I can swallow it in one go. Any? No? Oh, get my mosh pit going. Shadow X up in here. Now we gonna you gotta get some of their crunchy music, man. God-fearing patriots doing some rock and roll. That's what I'm talking about. All right, and maybe one of these days, man. We'll be able to get out there and sledge a stage together or something like that. That'd be awesome. have like a salt and light party. All right, y'all. That's going to do it for tonight, and we will talk again soon. Shalom.